relationships, it's usually our intent to love and honor the other person, not hurt them. When we found we've hurt them, and the shame rises up. A man had 2 sons. The older was responsible and trustworthy. The younger wanted his inheritance early so he could blow his dad off. Sadly, the father sold off half of his businesses and property to give to the boy. He could have said no and sent the boy packing, but he had a bigger reason in mind. The son moved to a faraway kingdom to get out of his dad's shadow and started partying. Within a year, he blew through all his money. Unfortunately, as soon as the money dried up, all those who said that they were his friends went away. He could have gone home, but his pride wouldn't let him. He was beginning to feel shame rise in his mind. About the time his money ran out, a great famine swept over the land, and he began to starve. He persuaded a local farmer to hire him, and the man sent him to fields to feed the pigs. The young man became so hungry that even the pa dude was feeding the pigs looked good to him, but no one gave him anything. He finally came to his senses and said to himself, "At home, even the hired servants have food enough to spare, and here I am dying of hunger. I'll go home to my father and say, 'Father, I sinned against heaven and you. I'm no longer worthy of being called your son. Please take me on as a hired servant.'" He packed up his few belongings and headed home. The father found out his son was coming home and ran out to meet him. The son was going over a speech in his head when, to his astonishment, he saw his father running towards him. He was shocked, because during that time period and in that region, it would have been very undignified for a man of his father's stature and place in the community to be running like that. But there he was, nevertheless. Just as the father almost got to the son began saying the speech he'd been practicing. "Father, I'm not worthy." Then the father reached him and threw his arms around him, embraced him in a great bear hug, smothering his son. He burst into tears. Tears began trickling down the son's cheeks. The 2 servants ran up behind them. They had taken off, following the father when they saw him go off in such a rush. "Bring a signet ring and a fine set of clothes, for my son was dead, but now he's alive. Prepare the special cow we only use for special occasions. Pull out the best champagne. We're having a party tonight." I don't think the son was trying to hurt his father. I think he got caught up in himself and was a little foolish and young. We're all human beings, and we've all hurt those we love. How can I say I love them if I hurt them? So where we can go to God and get the grace we need, and the love and forgiveness that we need to do the things that we need to do in our relationships. If we try to do it by ourselves without God's grace, it's like we're running on empty. The youngest son didn't run home after all his money was gone. I'm sure he was ashamed of the way he treated his father. Blowing through his inheritance in such a short time didn't help. And in the end, the son didn't allow shame to keep him from his loved ones. Shame and isolation can lead one back to addiction if they were in one. For the sake of growth, we must not let our shame cause us to avoid the people we love. It's alright if we love imperfectly, no one's perfect. But we must keep our relationships together until they've had time to heal.